Hey, what's up everyone? It's me, Mad Gamer JJWH here. I'm bringing you another clip. This is going to be Assassin's Creed today. Really, I'm just showing you guys how good of a game this game is going to be. I've only been through like the first 10 levels. There's so many different islands. You get to sail across oceans. The exploration in this game is immense. It is all topped off with the Assassin's Creed feel, awesome assassinations, hardcore parkour, but with the feel of Horizon and the bow and arrows kind of, and the God of War armor kind of feel, like the way you upgrade your armor, the way you equip it, how your R1 and R2 are your light and strong attacks. You can also parry, which I just did there. Didn't really need it because he was a fool. Again, equipping arrows is probably one of the hardest things in this game. The amount of wood that you need, it takes 1 wood per arrow, and you only get 6 per olive tree. So, yeah, it does sound cool, but the amount of olive trees that you actually find out there are very low. You mainly got to buy it from merchants, so you just got to sell random crap that you get from killing guys or whatever. Pretty much, the eagle in this game is your binoculars and telescope. It gives you a really big advantage compared to Far Cry and stuff like that, where you have like a camera that can only zoom in from locations and you have to go on top of mountains to actually see them. Here, you don't have to go on top of anything. You can fly all the way across the island and scout out the place and then come on by horse and do whatever you want. This guy right here, I don't know how he almost spots me, but he does, but I ended up just taking him out. Who cares? This next guy that comes up, I ended up just giving him a good old punch in the throat, and maybe a little bit more than that. This is pretty early in the game, so a lot of your skills aren't put to use. It's mostly just assassinations, arrows, going for headshots kind of thing. As you get more into it, there is going to be some more battles because there are going to be some situations where you can't quite deal with one-on-one. But that's okay. Again, right here I'm going to show you the fire physics. I ended up just assassinating this guy. This is also the armor, what it kind of looks like. It's very generalized, kind of the God of War feel to it. I gotta say, the fire physics in this game are nuts. Here's the unlocking your abilities and stuff. I have, of course, a lot of them locked because I'm not high enough level. Works just like a Borderlands game or even God of War. You can sometimes upgrade your stuff. The way your axe does certain throws and moves. Same thing here. You get to do certain moves. You can equip them in like a little hotbar to use them. It just gives you little extra things. Your assassinations do more damage and stuff like that. This part here, just taking out another base. Guys are level 4. I believe I'm level 4, yep. Headshots are also a big deal in this game. They do like 100% more damage like typical games. Another thing I should add is that hiding in bushes is a very huge deal in this game because even assassinating guys, you can bring them into the bush and then their bodies will be hidden. Don't know why this guy randomly caught on fire. I guess he's a vampire, but pretty much just jumped on that guy to make things easy. I best be keeping out of sight. Then I got into sight. Again, using fire. It apparently is really good for the first little bit. I don't know why I had so much fun with fire, but it's a fun little mechanic. Later on, well, actually, right at the beginning, you can unlock the attribute to equip poison onto your swords. So that's another little thing. You got fire, you got poison damage. There's a little bit of elements here and there. So far, that's the only 2 I've seen. There might be bleeding damage or something like that eventually when I get into it. I love hitting the counter finishers. It feels good. Also, we got some horseback. It's just so you don't have to run around the huge map that this place offers. There's a whole entire ocean that you go across. Also, the cutscenes are a lot like Horizon, where you get to choose what you want to say and change the way things can come out.
We had to take action to scorch the blood fever out of Gaussos.
Is there no hope for a cure?
Nothing has worked. Sacrifice, prayers.
Healers won't come near us. Soldiers won't let us leave. The gods won't answer our prayers.
But I don't know anything about the plague.
There is nothing you can do.
I gotta say, the graphics in this game are incredible. The amount of work that they even put underwater. Like, they got sharks. I don't know if I've seen any dolphins yet. But I have seen some whales. There's lots of fish, of course. And between like herons and boars and moose, and well, I don't think there's any moose, but there's goats and other random stuff like that. They put a lot of effort into the way the ecosystem works. And you know, of course, with eagle vision, that eagles can see really far. I have no idea that they can see so far that they can see through things, but apparently they can. Like, I had no idea how he saw that.
I'll rescue your brother for a price.
Yes, of course. Drachmi is the only language you Kefalonians understand.
I'm not Kefalonian.
If you thought that was harsh, wait until you get more into the story. There is some pretty intense scenes so far. None that are really gory, other than when we get over across the ocean and start getting into the real war. This is mostly the island and where you first start. Pretty much, you're supposed to get a ship. Right here, I just stole someone's ship, but it's still not big enough that I can't take the open sea. So I just pretty much, instead of going all the way across the land, I took the ocean around. Started taking out these guys. Found that guy on top of the mountain. So he wanted me to save his brother. Was already pretty much saving his brother. Was just gonna kill all the guys first. But I ended up finding him, so just went and completed that side mission real quick.
Your brother sent me. And if it wasn't for your brother's money, I'd gladly feed you to the pigs. Now let's go. Stay close and shut up.
Ornios, reunited again.
I don't know where you find these ruffians, brother, but they do get the job done.
This is touching. But you owe me drachmi.
Don't think I didn't notice you looting one of my chests.
Consider it a fee for your hubris, Malaka.
Oh, he did bring you to me, Ornios. Let him go.
As quickly as I can.
And now this game turns into Breath of the Wild, where you start climbing mountains. Which doesn't bother me, because the way that they have always done their climbing in the games have always just been so smooth, and even though it might seem rocky, see what I did there? It's always like never a hard thing to do. You're in a gunfight, well, in this case a arrow fight, well, you can just run away. It doesn't matter. Just super hardcore parkour. And same with like jumping off things. You jump off anywhere, as long as there's a bush under you, you're all good. Here we go. look at the ocean out there. Like, all that is all explorable. The amount that, like, you're gonna be stuck on this game for so long. Like, for a game that comes on sale so many times, I'd recommend getting it when it does, because if you're just bored, it's a good game to waste some time, especially just doing that over and over again.
Get me to Megaris. Now.
But I don't understand. Of all the places under Ilios, why risk our necks to go there?
The Wolf of Sparta is my father.
So that was just a clip of the first cutscene where he discovers who his father is. He gets a little flashback. Right here, I'm showing you the wildlife. We got a heron, a boar, and a bear. I don't know what the heck this boar's problem was with this bear, but apparently he thought he was tough. I kind of was just watching to see what happened, but then I realized a level 10 bear is probably really scary. So I was like, well, I'm gonna go get my arrows and start firing away. As I come around the corner here, I end up finding that the bear is dead. Yes. The boar had killed the bear. I don't know how this makes sense. I don't know what makes sense anymore. But I do know that the armor is a lot like God of War, how it all levels up. You can engrave them, add little special attributes to them. That all does make sense. And as far as any other building requirements, all the resources, you can find them in caves, as far as like iron ores and precious gems and stuff like that. Your wood, you can find them in little olive trees. Right here, I'm getting into a battle that I shouldn't be. I'm level 7 facing level 9, 10 guys in a level 10 base. But as an assassin, no guy is too big or too small. So other than that guy, he's too small. Apparently you just got a hit in. So I ended up taking on these bases, and it is possible. It is hard, and they take off like almost a quarter of your freaking health with every hit. Especially with those big ones, like right there. But I ended up dodging it. You just gotta outsmart them. And their AI is pretty smart. It is pretty hard to outrun them. But thankfully this is only the Roman times. And it's not like Far Cry where they just all call a big giant army on you. They can really only hear within like shouting distance. So you can sit here and fight this guy while all three of those other guys have no idea what's going on. It's pretty great. So here I am taking out these other 3 guys, and yes, headshots are a huge savior in this game, especially facing higher up guys, because you'll need to hit them in the head, but you don't have as many chances to hit them unless you keep finding a different hiding place, because they will always scout you out. So what you have to do is hit them in the head a couple times, change your placements, and then have them come in at a decently low enough health that you can actually assassinate them in one hit. Now this guy just goes to sleep in the bush. We call this guy over here with a couple arrows, bring him over into the bush. Yep, just what I'd wanted. But since I didn't damage him enough, when I went to assassinate him, he actually still was alive. So that is one downfall of facing guys that are higher level than you, is that you can't fully assassinate them. And unlike in the older Assassin's Creed games where you can just pretty much assassinate anyone, I like how they added that in, so it makes it a little bit more tough. Here I am facing a level 10 archer guy, and I don't care. I'll use my arrows too. right here I get him stuck in this glitch, so I don't know what he was doing, just moonwalking across there. I just fast forward a little bit because all he's doing is running up and down. I end up getting his health down good chunk before I actually have to face him up close. That's what you pretty much want to do to guys that are higher level than you. I don't know if this technically counts as speedrunning because it takes heck of a lot longer to just kill a guy. But this is what comes when you want to explore versus do the story. Really, I'm one of those people that likes leveling themselves up as much as they can and then continuing on the story, and seeming like a total badass against all the bosses that you end up facing is always pretty fun. Ended up just sending that guy across friggin' the roof. Again, when you synchronize, you can just take in the beauty of what this game has to offer. So incredible. Here's a whale. Just little things like that in games are just like, whoa, a whale? Like, you don't just, it's just so cool in my mind. Because the amount of like free roaming you can do is insane. You have a whole entire ocean to discover. The amount of loot that could be around, you just don't know. It is so huge. The amount of possibilities in this game are ridiculous. You can upgrade your guy so much, and I've only done like very, very little. Like, the amount of master assassinry you become is intense. But it's good that they also added these little battleships too, because that was a lot of the war back then. There was a lot of ship battles and arrows and spears, and it's just cool to be going back in that time era, but not as like God of War type. You just get to go as a regular human, nothing special about you, but you make it special because you're a player and not an AI. It is a little confusing when you're trying to fight guys on a ship and your guys kind of look like their guys, but you just gotta look for the red arrows above their head. It all seems pretty easy, but when there's a cluster of them, it makes it pretty tough. You can be sitting there fighting your own guy for a good little bit and not even realize it. This is how much easier it is taking out guys that are 1 or 2 levels lower than you. Before I was doing side missions, now I'm doing the story. Now the story is a lot easier. That guy would have been pretty intense facing a spear guy that I've never faced before. I only could imagine I would have died a lot. Here I am taking on another base, refilling those arrows. This is my special bush right here. See how I told about the assassinating in the bush? They see you, but don't at the same time. It's weird. Ended up just luring everyone over here and just bringing them all in this bush. They saw me, so they would come over to the bush, and then I would just turn around. Peace. And this guy's gonna be my best friend.
They're not here.
Knock his ass out. That is something else also is really cool. You can recruit guys
Join my crew.
to your ship and actually give your ship special attributes that will help you along your way. So instead of always killing people, you can make some people your friends, but what you have to do is, if you're already fighting them, it's too late. You have to be able to knock them out in one punch before you interact with them. So if that means shooting them in the head a couple times with a couple arrows before you interact with them, then that's what you gotta do. And I did that actually with a level 10 guy with that when you saw that boar and bear having a fight, there was a little camp there as well. I ended up taking a guy from that camp, and that's how I ended up defeating those battleships with ease, because I was just sitting there with super overpowered stuff from the side missions. And that ends my video, so thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoy the look of this game, and maybe you can get it. Alright, thanks.